It's her passion. Now, yesterday I was in a Facebook group and a lady had asked a question on behalf of her daughter. Her daughter, I think she's only a teenager, had written a book, and her mother is just on the verge of self-publishing the book for her. But she just wanted to make sure that she had all her bases covered. She wanted to make sure about ISBN numbers and book covers and all those different things. Stuff that she probably shouldn't even be thinking about. But she was asking in the group anyway, so I had given her a couple of pieces of advice. Not really on the book covers or the ISBN numbers, because to tell you the truth, I don't really know much about that. And I don't really need to know much about that because I basically publish all my books through the Kindle store, and I never had to worry about those ISBN numbers. I simply went with Amazon's numbers instead. So I had just said to her that she should get that book out as soon as possible, because unfortunately some authors will use this kind of searching around for more and more information as a procrastination tool. You know, if you find maybe that you are constantly asking people in the group, what do I need to do next? Do I need to do another re-edit? Do I need to kind of tweak the book cover? Do I need to tweak this and tweak that? That is basically just you holding back, afraid to get your book out in public because you're afraid it is going to be criticised. You need to get that book out as soon as possible. And as I said to the lady, at the end of the day, no matter how good her daughter thinks that book is, it's going to be the audience that's going to decide how good it is. You will see people promise, I can make your book a best-selling book. But at the end of the day, it's not the publishers, it's not the marketers, it's the audience that make it into a best-selling book. You can push a book so far with marketing and get it in front of as many people as possible, but it's going to be your audience that's going to carry it over the finish line to being a bestseller. They're going to be the people who are going to share your book with other people. They are going to be the ones that are going to talk about that book in forums or on their blog or whatever, and that kind of snowball effect is going to reach a huge audience, and they are going to word of mouth recommendation is a lot stronger than me or you saying my book is fantastic. It's better for them to make up their mind, and they will kind of run with it from there. So as I said, you can get your book so far with your marketing or whatever, but at the end of the day, it's your audience that's going to make that book a bestseller. And I said that to the lady. I said, just get the book out there as quick as possible. Don't kind of hang around. Don't use this as procrastination. Get it out there. Now again, she may be trying to protect her daughter. She may be, afraid that the daughter's going to receive negative criticism, and maybe that's why she's trying to hold off as long as possible. Because as long as the book is on a hard drive, nobody can criticise it and everybody's happy. But when you get a negative book review, it can be damaging. And that was one of the things I'd said to her. If she does receive any negative criticism on the book, it's to remember that criticism is aimed only at the book and not at her, Unfortunately, some authors, because we spend maybe a lot of weeks, months, maybe years with our little creation, our little baby, sometimes an attack on that creation does feel really, really personal. But you need to kind of step back. You need to let your book take the criticism. That is what it is aimed at, and not to kind of take that criticism on personally yourself. Many an author has probably close up the laptop, never come back to it because they took their criticism personally. So I had said that to her, especially with the child being a teenager. Sometimes some people can be mean in the book reviews, and I just wanted them to be prepared for that, just to, not to take that criticism personally, to keep writing. And she had thanked me then for my responses, but again, she said that she was only looking for specific things and ISBN numbers and things like that. But she had said the next thing in the chat that really grated me, or just to stop me in my tracks. And she had said, well, she's already working on her second book because writing is her passion. Now that it could be just me, but when I hear somebody say writing is my passion, I can see that person in the forums, in the groups, and all the other authors whose writing is their passion. I can hear them complaining and moaning that they're not making any money, that their readers aren't supporting them, and that writing is a poor thing to get into. It's okay for a hobby, it's okay because it's your passion to do it, but that you can't actually make a full-time living out of it. And they will attack other authors who are making big money, who are getting big commission checks from Amazon for writing the books, and they can't understand how these people are doing that when writing is their passion. How can't they be making money? Now, this morning when I got up, I didn't want to come out and do this podcast. I wanted just to lie on in bed. I'd been up early all week and I didn't want to come out here. Now, if podcasting was my passion, there is some days when your passion isn't going to be turned on, when you're not going to be motivated, when you're not going to be inspired. And again, Is passion going to be enough to keep your bum in the seat every day? Is passion going to be enough to keep me getting up early every morning to record these podcast episodes? Probably not. Unfortunately, you need more than passion. Sometimes you need stubbornness. Sometimes you need, a strong goal or something that'll pull you forward. Now, again, when somebody says to me, oh, well, writing is my passion, that to me probably is somebody who is giving away their content for free, or they are reducing the book so low that they're not making any money on it. Now, again, in another group, I had seen a lady complain that it was on about, again, selling books, and kind of growing a following, but she releases her books on Wattpad. Now, if you don't know what Wattpad is, it's WATTPAD, but it's kind of a platform that authors can go over there. They can test maybe book ideas, or if you want, you can write on the platform and you can, pardon me, I got a fly in my eye. You can write on the platform, but the readers can read all your content for free. Now, she had said over on Wattpad she has got tens of thousands of followers, but they're not supporting her, and in fact she said probably only a handful of them would actually go to the bookstore and buy her copy. Now, I want you to think about that for a moment. If writing was your passion and you are writing to an audience that doesn't support you, how long do you think you keep doing that for? Can you imagine me going to my bank manager at the end of this month and saying, well, the mortgage has to be paid, I don't have the cash, but here is a sackload of passion, maybe you can take that in exchange? Or how about I walk to the grocery store this morning and I say to them, here, sorry, I haven't got any cash, I haven't got my card, but I have this little bag of passion, would you accept that in exchange for it? Now, you're probably well aware I would be chased out of both of those places because people aren't interested in that passion. They want cash to pay for their goods, and unfortunately people who say writing is my passion are the majority of times people who aren't making money from their writing, are people who are griping that there's no money in writing, you can't do it. But you will see again authors who are making an absolute fortune from their writing. So if you think maybe that passion is going to keep you going, if you think passion is going to sell you books, I'm here to tell you that you are sadly mistaken. There's a lot of other things that go into selling books, and one of those things is to get away from an audience that doesn't respect your writing. What I would do if I was that lady over on Wattpad, I would, at the very least, if I had to work with that audience, even if they weren't supporting me, I would use that audience for maybe book reviews. So I would take my books that I had over on Wattpad, I would take them over to a paid platform like the Kindle store where people pay for books. I would take my content over there. But if that free audience, maybe if I could get one use out of them, I would say to them, well, would there be any chance maybe you could give me some book reviews and put some nice comments on my Amazon page so that the buyers over there know what the book's like? It would really, really helpful. Because at the end of the day, if those people are just following you and are just siphoning all your content off and they're not even giving you a penny, they're not supporting you at all, they're not your audience, they're not your readers. Unfortunately, a lot of people think, well, I have so many people reading my books for free, that is my little tribe. They're not your little tribe. They are just vampires that are sucking the content out of you, and chances are good when they're getting all that content for free, they're not taking you seriously, they're probably not recommending you to any other readers, and they are just hopping from one free author to another because that's all they are, is just freebie seekers, and they aren't taking you seriously. So if you are somebody who is got this notion in your head that writing is your passion, I'm here to give you a little slap across the back of the head and say, knock that idea out of your head. Again, I don't know how this young girl might do on her second book. That might be as far as she goes. Maybe she'll only release 2 books. But if she goes around with this idea that writing is her passion, I wouldn't be surprised if she doesn't turn up every day. I wouldn't be surprised if a bad book review knocks her. And I wouldn't be surprised if she writes to a free audience who aren't supporting her. So keep that in mind today. If you have this kind of writing as your passion, is that really, is that worth having that thought? You probably could be hanging it in forums, you could be hanging it in groups where all the other authors are moaning and griping again too, because writing is a passion, there's no money in this writing game, and it's not fair and this and that. Get away from those people, because at the end of the day, they don't know what they're doing. You know, at the end of the day, marketing your book is probably half, or maybe just as even more important than the content you're writing. You know, it's one thing writing the book, it's another thing to get it out in front of as many readers as possible. But these people stupidly believe that the passion in this book is somehow going to spill over, and magically this audience is going to find it. That's kind of build it and they will come. You know, if I've got enough passion, the audience will come. The audience isn't going to come. The audience isn't going to find you. And if that's what you believe, you're never going to be found. You're going to have to get that book out there. You're going to have to sit your butt down in your seat every day, write your 1,000 words or however many words your daily count is. But you're going to need to do that even on days when you're not passionate. As I said, you know, I don't want to be walking around this field today, but I need to keep my numbers up. I'm trying to do as many podcasts as I can in a year, and that is why I'm out here. So knock that thought on the head if writing is your passion, because unfortunately I can see a path ahead for you that is going to mean that your writing isn't going to be respected, you're not going to make money from it, and you're probably going to drop out because it is just a drag, a chore, and something that you've lost a sparkle for. So keep that in mind today if you have this idea in your head. Now, I didn't mention that to the lady. I just nodded and I just said, well, best of luck with the book, because at the end of the day she'll probably learn that in the long run. And again, unfortunately, you can't give some people good advice. They are just going to run with whatever they're going to run with, and at the end of the day they'll make that decision themselves. But I just thought I would maybe help somebody today if that was going on, if they were open to maybe a little bit of an opinion, or maybe, you know, a differing opinion than everybody else. So if you'd like to know where these podcasts and videos are, if you do a search for WriteCome, which is WriteCome.com, you'll find the content all over the web. And if you go to the WriteCome site right now, again, WriteCome, WriteCome.com, you'll find a great free report there which is called Words to Wealth. And in it, I'm going to show you 10 different ways you can make money from your writing. And that is creating content for a paying audience and not for a load of freebie seekers. So if you'd like to pick up that report, head on over there, download it, and then let me know how you get on with it. So as always, thanks for sharing your time with me again today. Take care. Have a great day. Bye bye.